Greetings. I have to admit, I don't even really remember your name. You told me, but it's one of those names I don't even know how to say very well in English, because it's not an English name. And that's okay with me, because some of the best people I've ever known in my entire life had names, and I knew them for years and even loved them profoundly, and I never knew how to say their name appropriately. But we met at a very important time, and it was very important for me to meet you. And then things happened. We got separated. And for a while, I would think about you and hope, but I didn't really see practically that you and I would be able to get together. It didn't make any sense. I didn't know how to find you through any of the conventional channels. Years passed. Well, in the last 6 months, 5 to 6 months, things concerning that meeting between us have been very prominent in a lot of things going on, whether it's spoken or not. Sometime after I met you and I had to leave, I encountered someone. My understanding from my meeting of you is that there may have been people who had malevolent intent in trying to interfere with your life, perhaps connected to the fact that prior to your arrival in the place where I met you, you had been a political dissident, and as a result were put in a position where you had to move somewhere else. This has happened to me several times. I call it trafficking. If you're capable of doing something and you express a dissident political view and then you're dispossessed of the means to take care of yourself and somebody attempts to extort you into agreeing to do illegal activities in exchange for basic resources like food and housing or in order to get work and compensation, and or decides they're going to take your work and your labor and your efforts from you without compensation by the letter of the law, at least in the United States, that's trafficking. And if they force you to go from city to city to city or place to place, or they make you leave your place and then go somewhere else and then have to go through a cycle again where they again attempt to entice or extort you into cooperating with illegal activity and then punish you, including by depriving you of the means to take care of yourself, and then take from you your work products without compensating you, then it's racketeering. And it's trafficking of people in the processes of engaging in racketeering. This is what I understand by the letter of the law. Now, I am not a member of any bar association. I've been trying to get into a court. They won't even give me a lawyer. But I've been doing my own personal study. And constitutionally speaking, I have a right to due process. However, in the system in which we live, apparently some people believe they're able to leverage their bar membership in order to get better positioning when it comes to engaging in illicit finance associated with particular risk scenarios designed in their venture capital pursuits. This happened to me in the summer of 2016. It was less than a year after I met you, but I understood this person had motives that might have impacted you and the people with whom you were associated. It's on the public record insofar as I've put it in a legal filing that was allowed to be made public and is still publicly accessible on the appropriate court website, where I named this person and I accused him of attempting to entice me into agreeing to engage in acts of espionage on behalf of Russia under the leadership of Vladimir Putin. Now, in the moment, I was attempting to report that I had witnessed acts of terrorism and I had information, and he had identified himself as somebody that would have been in a mandated reporter role. Instead, he attempted to entice me and recruit me into agreeing to acts of espionage under the leadership of Vladimir Putin. I made it in that moment when I was with him my assignment or duty to identify his network and dismantle it. I'm not going to lie. This person represented himself in a specific capacity with a specific responsibility, and when given an opportunity to step up and actually do the right thing, he attempted to recruit a woman who said she had evidence of a terrorist attack into agreeing to engage in acts of espionage on behalf of a foreign government that at that point was under sanctions. I'm just letting you know that I'm very concerned that this has a direct material consequence on your reality and perhaps the realities of other people with whom you're associated. Now, I understand his little venture is done. Whatever his stake was, somehow cashes out today. I've done everything I needed to do to secure my bases, so to speak, and being able to demonstrate that in no manner whatsoever would I ever have cooperated with people that identified themselves as American citizens, that were a part of the judicial branch of government, including by virtue of their practice of the law, and that when they were in abuse of their authority, they attempted to try to compel somebody who had need of their performance in their professional capacities to agree to engage in activities that are not only illegal, but under the proper circumstances, are capital offenses. I wish you well. I am doing the best I can right now. I anticipate I'm going to be offline, at least until the end of the week.